This is a complicated conversion problem where we're trying to convert from one unit to another using several steps. All right, so it says a GRY is an Old English measure for length, and it's equivalent to 1/10 of a line, where a line is another Old English measurement for length, and that is defined as 1/12 of an inch. So we have several unit equivalencies is what they're talking about. And they say there's a point as well, which is defined as 1/72 of an inch. And we just want to use these equivalencies to convert points squared to GRY squared. And it doesn't really matter, what the units involved are. The principles of conversion are always the same. What I do and what I show in the introductory videos to this topic is that you want to put what you have on the left and what you want way over here on the right. All right, so the thing you have is the thing you want to convert. So 2.5 points squared is like our starting point. And then they're asking us for the area in GRY squared in the end. And we're just not sure like what number gets associated with that, right? And that's the whole point of the conversion. You may want to come up with a flow chart for showing how you'll get from one unit to the next. All right, so if we start off here with points squared, then we want to go to a new unit, like an intermediary unit that helps us get toward what we want, which is GRY squared. But you can't go direct from points squared to GRY squared because that conversion is not given. you know? But what we could do is go from one step to the next. All right, so where do they talk about points? Oh, right here. A point is defined as 1/72 of an inch. So we could go from points squared to inches squared as our first step because we have that equivalency. Okay, the equivalency says that 1 point is equivalent to 1/72 of an inch. And that's what we need. It's called a known equivalency. All right, let's see where we could go to next though. Could we get from inches to GRY? Looks like no, unfortunately. We see here that we've got a line is 1/12 of an inch. So we can go from inch to line. All right, what's the known equivalency? 1/12 of an inch is a line. All right, and then we could finally go to GRY because we see that 1/10 of a line is a GRY. Okay, so 1/10 line equals 1 GRY. Okay. So that's our flow chart of how we'll get from one point to the next. Now, how do we set it all up? Well, you want to use what are called conversion factors. Conversion factors are simply parentheses where you have a fraction. And it's actually going to require, it looks like 3 conversion factors to do this problem. Each conversion factor is like a vehicle for getting from one unit to the next. Alright? Now we want to go from points squared to inches squared. Alright, so what we put in the conversion factor is the units involved. Alright, so you just got to take your known equivalency down here and then put it into the fraction. But you got to put the right things in the right places. And so see, points needs to go on bottom because you want it to cancel with the points that are above. So 1 point is equivalent to 1/72 of an inch. Alright? Now you can't totally stop there with that conversion factor because this one's squared. So the points wouldn't totally cancel just yet. If you want them to totally cancel, you have to actually square your conversion factor as well. So that's something to consider. Now the points squared would cancel with the points squared above, you know? Alright, once you're done with that, you would have your answer in inches squared. So we could calculate that real quick, like 2.5 times 1/72 squared. Okay, it's telling me 0.00048 inches squared. Alright, so that's like the first step, is I converted points squared to inches squared. But I'm not done, right? We got to keep going. Now we got to change it to lines squared. So I want the inches on bottom now, because even though I canceled the points here, you know, now I have inches squared and I need to cancel those. You got to put the number that's associated with inches with that unit, and I'd put the line above. Alright. Once again, we'll want to square the factor. Okay, so that we cancel inches squared with inches squared. Now I can multiply all that. Right? I'm getting 0.0694. That'll be lines squared. So I'm almost there, but we have one more step to get us into GRY squared. Got to use the equivalency. Put lines below and GRY above. And the 1/10 has to go with the line. And a 1 goes with GRY according to the equivalency. Finally, square that factor. I'm going to round it to just 2 sig figs because my original starting point had 2 sig figs.